Are you weren't concerned about that?
I would have been.
We're kind of worse. Kind of worse.
Oh, you're right.
All right, folks, we've seen the devastation that the recent heavy and constant rain have caused across the island. We can't even imagine how those affected will pick up the pieces, but we are thankful that there have been no reports of loss of life. With us now is Major Clive Davis, Director General of ODPEM, ODPEM, Office of Disaster Preparedness, Emergency Management, and he will tell us what's going on. And I guess as we move on. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Thank you.
I know that we have the National Solid Waste Management Authority also. So what is your ODPEM's role overall in all of this?
All right. Once an incident like this comes about, on the instructions of the Prime Minister, who is also the chairman of the National Disaster Risk Management Council, a National Emergency Operations Center is established. The ODPEM, therefore, becomes the hub of all activities, coordinating everything that happens out there in the field. So at this stage, where we know today, we are in two phases. We're doing some responses still. The National Works Agency is still out, clearing roads, making places more motorable and so forth and so on. And as we're doing that, we're also about to embark on what we call early recovery, which is the assessment process.
Okay, speaking of recovery, sir, sorry to jump in. We just said we haven't had any reports of loss of life, but how serious, because I know some folks had to go to the hospital, for what reason?
Yes, we did a rescue exercise yesterday in the Linstead area. About 30 persons were rescued by the Jamaica Defence Force, Coast Guard, the Jamaica Constabulary, and the Jamaica Fire Brigade. And out of that, I think there were 4 persons who had to go to the hospital. But it was minor bruises, hypothermia, probably being in the water for a little bit too long, a little exhausted, that kind of thing. But outside of that, there were no reports of any injuries.
What happens when the budget is not enough? Because we heard that just a ballpark figure is $500 million, and suppose what we have to work with is 100 and something, which is what we were told. What do you do at that point?
You should. I don't think I want to go that side, except to say that at a press brief yesterday, the Honourable Minister of Finance was present, and he gave certain very open commitments as to what has to be done. And so the National Works Agency basically has a free hand to get out there, get some things done, and get them done right now. The local authorities also have been given some funding to go into their areas also to get some work done, because we have to get back to normalcy as quickly as is possible. And please remember, we're days away from the start of the Atlantic hurricane season. So we have to get this right, get ourselves back in order, because we could be in for a long stretch down the road.
What are they saying? I jumped in on you before because you were about to tell me what was going on. No, but what is the Met Office saying? How much more of this? And what about you, sir? Have you seen anything like this recently? Because it seems, from what even what we just saw on video, it seems like it's more rain than I've seen in a long time, or more water.
Yes, and based on the data that we've gotten from the Met Service, or the rainfall data, we've had areas that in 24 hours receive rainfall that they would have received in an entire month.
Wow.
In 24 hours. Wow. So it's unprecedented. And because, again, those who don't believe in climate change, I have nothing to say to those people up so, who don't believe in climate change. I didn't say that. I still want my visa, right? I didn't say that. But it's very important that we understand that it's happening. It is real, and these kinds of events are going to happen. We could go through the hurricane season with no hurricanes at all, but we're going to get more of this. And so the Met Service is predicting that the central and eastern parishes today could have some more of the rainfall. The rainfall, right, the intensity, they're saying, should be less, but then that when it, all we need in Portland is for clouds to be in the sky, and they're impacted, right?
Say that
and so
they
it's
are
important.
impacted. Sorry to jump in. Say that they're impacted. How do we get to the nearest shelter? What is the plan of action that we take if we are affected?
Okay, so we have all of 900 shelters across the island with shelter managers, all poised, all ready to go. And once we are in this kind of mode, the shelters are either already open or they are about to be open, meaning they can be open once the first person turns up. And we try to keep the shelters, you know, in communities, of course. Some schools are shelters, and it's the principal who is the shelter manager, who probably lives next door, knows that what's happening and is ready to react. So the shelters, we activated 11 over the last 24 hours. Good, nobody went to them. But we were ready to receive persons if it became
From what
necessary.
you've seen, from what you've heard, where are the worst hit areas?
The reports up to now seem to be Clarendon, and especially the hilly regions, the inland and hilly regions of Clarendon. But today, another look is going to be taken of the impacted areas, and I get by this evening we'll get a better picture, because there might be areas that we have not heard enough about.
Is this because of poor drainage system, or is just we don't have the facility to accept the kind of water that we've seen over the last couple of days?
So if you design a drain to take, you know, 10 inches of water over a month, and you're getting that 10 inches of water in 24 hours, it is going to be overwhelmed. But outside of that, true it is, some of our drainage systems are outdated, antiquated. They were built when there were 3 houses in the community. Now we have 60 houses in the community. There's going to be a lot more runoff, and if we don't size the drains now to manage that kind of runoff, we're going to have challenges. In addition to that, please let us not forget that some of the things that we do up in the watershed areas, the chopping down of the trees, and we don't replant when we do that, we do slash and burn still, all of that is going to play on us at the end of the day. And so we are as responsible as the government, let me put it that way.
All right, final, sir, what's the word to the folks?
I would like just to encourage Jamaicans, please, do not test Mother Nature. Do not test Mother Nature. If you are in an area and you think you're vulnerable, get out of your house, go to a friend's house, go to a shelter. Do not try to, I see people trying to cross fordings. I see people trying to test SUVs on small cars in water. Don't. And if you don't have to be on the road, stay home. This too will pass. And we will recover, and recover in fine style in no time.
Thanks for coming, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Director General of ODPEM, Major Clive Davis.
You're defending your visas.
I figure for it.
The line at the embassy was still down the entire street.
we take everything, make a joke.
The worst part of this war, you know. That of it. So.
Still ahead, learning about the court system and the work of a stenographer. Stick and stay with some come.